liberty, and justice for all.
All right, everybody, please silence their phones. We do have a quorum. The meeting of January, what is today, the 18th? Is starting at 7:13 p.m. All right, all present and Chris Waller by audio because we can't get the Zoom working. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I'll move and he can second.
Oh.
Yeah, I asked for the motion.
Okay.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor of the agenda signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the open minutes of the December 21st, 2020 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor of the approval of the open minutes from December 21st, 2020 signify with an aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Treasurer's report and presentation of bills.
Okay. As of December the 31st, we have a total cash $948,878.27. That includes our primary checking, our crisis fund, CD, special assessment money, and any other cash. We had bills of $34,689.66 in December. Nothing really of interest. We paid taxes. Would like to draw attention to the Bay's Internet bill, check number 2007. I was asked about that last month, what that's for. It's for our internet support, the office, and 3 gates now. It's for hosting email. What?
When can they come in and fix the wireless connectivity in the office then?
Yeah, let's get the phone call to them about that.
What's the problem?
Get another,
We need
we just need better reception
need
out of this room.
They need to run a, help me out, I just blanked the word.
Standard
Wireless
access point.
An AP out here.
Okay, I think, I heard some discussion about that. Can't Dan do that? Dan also.
Yeah, we can go buy one somewhere.
But yeah, but we paid them all this money.
Well, that's
Well,
not
we
gonna
don't
be
pay 'em for
included.
that. That's for support. That's a contract for
Yeah,
support.
anything they come here to
use it?
use.
Do we use it at all?
Do we
The
want?
support service?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this
I
place,
paid that item to purchase access point from a router.
okay,
How much is one of those?
$50.
Oh,
No,
well, we.
No.
we get a good
No.
one for
no, not if you're
$2.50.
gonna get a decent one, no, it's
All
not
you
50
needed
bucks.
is to cover this room, Mike.
Probably one for that building. I just upgraded mine and I used the one I purchased was about $150.
What was it, Chris?
For up to 2,500 square feet.
We already got one in the offices, so we just need to cover this boardroom.
Well, the one that's in the office is probably running, it's probably more than 5 years old and it's probably running at 2.4 gigahertz, which means it's going to be at a lower speed. To get better reception, we can probably upgrade it to a tri-band.
The one they have in there is just the AT&T modem with the wireless added to it.
Probably need 2.
Yeah, that one is. That's what I just replaced at my house, and I went from 10 megahertz or 10 megabits per second to 50 megabits per second. So.
Well, can you research, or
Yeah, I
somebody,
can take that as an action item
Yeah.
and research and find out what we got, what we can upgrade.
yeah, let's contact AT&T and see if we can get an upgraded one for the office and then an additional access point out here, whether it's through AT&T or through our own
Hell,
doing it.
we can do that.
Yeah, that's really
Is
good.
there a crawl space in the attic?
No idea.
You're
I
not
believe
crawling
there
up
is,
in
yeah,
there.
right there's the access.
Yeah, why not?
You got a leg hanging out of there.
I
Maybe
didn't
you got
say
that
I
video
was.
running when that
Okay,
happened, did you?
Right there, that vent right behind you is where you go through.
On the other side of the wall, right there's a little access thing.
Yeah, just run a cable into the router
Alright.
room.
Chris is gonna handle that.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
Uh,
Did you have any? Are we done with that?
I just wanted to ask, why do we have personal property, I get it. Why do we have two separate real estate bills?
Well, one of them is for the POA and all that property,
Right?
and I'm not sure what that $201 is. It probably that little piece of property we have up by the country club.
Alright.
Yeah, but there's two
So-
different $2,200 and $2,300.
But Barb, that Bays high speed, that's a monthly
Right, it's a
Oh,
yes.
contract.
at $239 a month.
Yeah, there's actually two properties. There's the old,
That's-
golf driving range, and then there's a big property that's designated as, possible future park. They're about the same size.
That's why there's a street over there called Park.
Just in general, that's pretty pricey for support service for this internet support.
Well, we need to talk to Dan to know what all that
'Cause
covers.
it covers the
That's-
cameras
that's
too, doesn't it?
email. They host our email. It's the interaction between here and each one of the gates.
They cover all the cables.
It's not just support, it's the actual service too, correct?
Chris, just look into the cost of what we're getting for $239 a month.
I will. I'll
Thank-
take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Alright.
I think that's it, unless anybody's got any questions about that.
You wanna formalize a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
You
I'll
second it?
I will.
Any discussion on the, motion for the approval of the treasurer's report and presentation of bills? All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
He said, okay. Put that in my notes.
Correspondence report.
All right, it's a very short report. This is for the month of December. We sent out one violation letter for tailgating, and we received holiday greeting cards. Looks like 6.
We received a lot of greeting cards. We got a lot of generous.
So thank you for all the greeting cards.
Yes, very good.
Alright, committee reports. Derek, how many people you got online, do you know?
26 right now.
26. Alright, administration and legal, administration, still getting in the special assessment payments, do we know where we are? I know we're about
Yeah,
50% of the way.
well,
Friday was the deadline.
there's probably about 20 to 25% out there that have not paid. It was due on January 15th, but it was billed 3 months ago, so I'm sure it's probably slipped out of people's minds. But we collected about $60,000 total,
Okay,
a little
so
more than that.
the deadline has passed, and if you have forgotten about it, has it been sent to collections yet?
No, it won't be sent to collections until 30 days past the deadline, so February the 15th.
Okay, so February 15th.
They'll get a statement reminding them before
Okay.
then.
Alright, so you will get correspondence in the mail, for the special assessment before it goes to collections. If you have forgotten about it, please get it into the office. I appreciate everybody that has paid it. It is tremendous help moving forward this year. Working through the COVID-19 challenges, I ain't heard much about Jefferson County. How are they doing?
Denial.
None? Was just,
I was trying to get Steve the vaccine and I call him, they just have no information whatsoever.
I'm on the list.
I was able to go online and put him on the list and I called and followed up and they don't
If
have
you
any
have had
start, they don't have any
COVID,
start date.
He can get,
if you have had COVID, I heard you can't get it for at least 9 months, but the data's still out there to try to support even longer, so. Just everybody be safe, social distance, masks, you can't catch it from me, I can tell you that much, cause I've already had it. Welcoming new Raintree residents and new property owners. ACC is moving right along, got some rules violations that we're gonna address, holiday codes for Christmas and New Year's. Year-end prep. Updating some boundary line adjustments and billing prorated assessments on new Jefferson County property sold. That's probably time consuming. Legal, we had, or we didn't, the courts had the objection phase of the settlement agreement on Wednesday, Wednesday the 13th. It started at 2 o'clock. The actual start time was 2:10. It lasted till approximately 10:15. There were 6 of 7 objectors that spoke. One removed his objection because he he sold his property and removed his objection. The 6 that spoke were property owners are of some sort, either of a lot or of a home. The judge listened to all of them. They were to get 5 to 6 minutes to speak. I would say they probably averaged about 45 minutes a person. After the objections were done, the country club had a witness that spoke. That took about 10 minutes, you think? Barb and I attended. After that, they kind of gave closing arguments. Ted spoke on behalf of the property owners. Kevin spoke on behalf of the country club, and Marty spoke on behalf of the interveners. The judge requested any orders be presented to him by February 1st? At 5 p.m. Once that is done, he will read all the testimony, all the lawsuits, all the orders, and give his decision on the case. I was told it could take up to a year, but this judge seems pretty efficient, and I expect to hear an answer by the end of February. Don't hold me to that, but he does seem very efficient and is very knowledgeable of the case, has read it, reread it, forwards, backwards, sideways. And I thought, we came out of there, and I think everybody got their fair share in court, and they had their attorney there as well for the objections and cross-examinations. It went, although it took long, everybody was heard, and they got to say what they wanted to say, and nobody was limited on time. So first one I'd ever been involved in a class action objection hearing, but I thought it went fine. As far as the Stolick suit goes, the judge has ordered a date for the attorneys to agree on. I guess once we hear that, Ted will be representing us. Tammy and Michael will not be part of that lawsuit. Helen and Kristen are still part of that lawsuit, so.
So is John Duran.
Well, he wasn't actually a board member when they filed that, was he?
No, but he's still on it. I've been keeping him up to date on what I know.
Yeah, I've forwarded him anything I got as well, so I haven't heard anything about that other than the judge has reached out to get a date. So that is all of the legal. Architectural control.
Yes, well, with the COVID cases, we're still having the ACC meetings via the email. It's working good. We got keep track of everything that way. As of January 13th, 11 homes are under construction with 22 miscellaneous projects still in progress throughout the subdivision. So we're still building, and there's more coming.
Thanks, Dave. Communications.
Okay, the Raintree Roundup e-newsletter for December was produced and emailed out to everybody on that MailChimp list by the end of December. Our latest subscriber count is 316, so that sounds like a nice big number, but we're missing a lot of people. So if you aren't on it, if for any reason you're having trouble getting on it, let me help you. Just let me know and I'll help you. We also had numerous notifications that were emailed and posted through the last month. And just as an example, MailChimp lets you see reports of how many people opened your email. So 72.1% of the 316 opened the January 11th reminder that I sent out that the objection hearing was coming up that week. 67.4% of them opened the objection hearing summary. 61.6% opened the latest Raintree Roundup. And as of around 6 o'clock tonight, 63.5% had opened the invitation to this meeting. So that's 63.5%, not people. So we also, the communications committee has been helping with evaluating the websites. And I've been back and forth with our web contractor in choosing. We came up with a site design that we liked, but it wasn't one that, well, what's the name of that?
WordPress.
WordPress, it wasn't one of those, so it was one we'd have to pay more for, so she suggested some different ones that to me don't seem the same, so there's been a lot of time spent on it, but the biggest challenge is finding a site that you like both as a computer display and as a phone display. A lot of them that look really great on the computer with all these blocks and you can pick where you want to go, but on the phone, it's 20 blocks, one under the other. So that's not what we were trying to achieve. So we're still working on that. And the communications committee meets at 7 on the Wednesday. Oh, I reversed those. It's the Wednesday after the board meeting. So day after tomorrow, the communication committee will meet and I'll post the Zoom link like I always do. Then the Community Relations Committee, moving right along on our agenda, Community Relations Committee currently has a food drive going here in the POA office, and as of mid last week, we picked up 2 big boxes of food. So if anytime you have opportunity to or reason to stop by the POA office, please bring some non-perishable food item to help out somebody in need. That'll continue through the month of January. Then our next announcement, community conversations are going to be resumed. We had a couple of those a year ago, and then because of COVID, we stopped having those. These are going to be resumed by Zoom, and the first one is being planned for February 11th at 7 p.m. So we're going to be posting announcements about it, and we're going to proceed with this being, you'll get the Zoom link by RSVP, so we can track if we're going to be able to accommodate everybody who wants to attend. And if we need to split it into 2 meetings, we can do that. But when you see the announcement, please RSVP so you can get the Zoom link. So again, that's February 11th. And the committee meetings for the CRC are the Wednesday before the board meeting. So we met last Wednesday, and those are also at 7, and I post those Zoom links also. So if someone would like to join the committee, you're welcome.
I just want to ask, on those community conversations that start on February 11th, now those like hosted by individual property owners at different times, or is that hosted
No,
by?
at this point,
Isn't that how it was supposed to be?
When they were in person, that's the way they work.
that's all a year ago. We have to figure out what we're gonna do
No,
now.
but you're
So,
talking by Zoom this time.
This
So,
time we're gonna Zoom, basically, we're gonna be talking to people about what do they want these meetings to be. And so, we had some pretty lively conversations a year ago, and I think a lot of people enjoyed them, so hopefully it'll be enjoyable again. But we're just trying to launch them again in a slightly different way, so I don't know all
I
the
just wanted to see
criteria
if that
about
was
it.
basically the same thing that was occurring before. I mean, that, different from the community relations committee, I guess. is
Oh,
what I'm
yes,
saying.
it'll be definitely different. It's, you don't need to be a member of any committee to come to these community conversations. This is any property owner, any residential or non-residential property owner who wants to talk about Raintree and the many topics that could include, so
Perfect, thank you for clarifying.
everybody's invited.
Thanks, Deb. Finance.
I don't really have anything new on that. I was going to update you on the special assessment receipts, but we already did that. We probably have 75 to 80% of that collected. It's due on the 15th of January. The people who have not paid will be getting a statement to remind them. We have a total of, we collected a total of around $60,000 that went into security and maintenance.
All right, thanks, Barb. Lakes and beaches, Mr. Hinkle.
Good evening. First of all, we'll start off with the mystery muck that Dave Getty and I drove around for an afternoon looking for and finally found. They weren't, it was a sample that was sent to Missouri Department of Conservation. They weren't overly concerned and said it looks like a species of planktonic algae. It's natural. As somebody said before the meeting, hopefully the coots will eat it and make it go away. But it will, it has a short life cycle, it'll go away, but it'll come back. It just makes a little brown film and that's about it. What we saw of it's basically what it does and it just moves around and it dies and a new little spot of it pops up and then it dies again. It's nothing to worry about.
Did you contact the property owners there?
I called and left him a voicemail, but he has not called me back.
Okay.
I did receive 3 bids for the
Thank you
food
for
truck.
that.
Oh, never mind, we're bringing that up in old business. I'll bring that up shortly. And the hunt still continues for a new patrol boat.
Any luck on that?
Still looking. I found a really nice cabin cruiser for $48,000.
Suddenly you'll have a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I would actually see a lot of lake parties happening with that one.
Yeah.
It slept 6, it was really nice.
I ain't bad either.
We could use some evening patrol on the lake, actually.
All right, is that it on lakes and beaches?
Yes, sir, that is it, thank you.
Michael. All right, the maintenance department, several ice events they've done. I don't know if they've actually put any salt down, have they? Oh, they have.
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 times.
I mean, we're lucky so far this year, knock on wood, that we haven't had anything major. When you do, if there is a snow, remember to try to keep the vehicles off the main roads as much as possible. What, Dave?
I'm sorry, there is no parking on the roads during inclement
Right.
weather anyway.
They worked on Autumn Dam, get it ready for the annual inspection. Repaired damage to Autumn Lake Dam from an ATV that I think do we have video of that or not? I thought somebody said we did have video of that.
Is that the same one that went in the beach, on the beach?
We don't know, we don't have video of it on the beach, but we do have video of it at the gate. But there was another
Yeah,
incident.
video of it coming through that gate.
Yeah. And then there's another apparently incident that just happened recently that's probably not even in this report. So just saying.
Yeah, I've seen that online.
It's on the dam too, so that's very serious.
When is the dam inspection?
Do you know, Barb?
No,
I would get with Tom and ask him.
I think it's supposed to happen this month.
You kind of think the lakes,
See, they didn't
lakes
do
and beaches
that,
would kind of
have
want to
no
know
car
that.
tracks on the back of the dam was
Yeah, I
being
thought so
inspected.
too.
Huh?
I thought so too, but Tom handles that. Sorry.
Maintenance department worked with Will Build Construction to place boulders at the top of the old driving range to block access into Raintree. There were many complaints sent in about that, so we addressed that. Normal stuff, growth, trees, culverts, filled some potholes, road edges. A lot of trash on the roads they've noticed. And if you see anything that needs attention, fill out a work order and send it to the office. Do you have anything under maintenance?
Nope.
Roads.
Okay. Currently, no road resurfacing is being done until the weather gets a little bit warmer, early spring. We will be prioritizing road requests and scheduling repairs as soon as weather permits. So if anybody has any requests to draw to our attention, please turn in a request for that so it can be considered. We continue to try to address safety issues on the streets, primarily focused on Plantation recently in response to several requests from property owners to do something about the speeding and reckless driving. We installed 2 speed bumps and no passing stripes to hopefully help with this problem. After discussion with the fire chief and at their request, we have decided to relocate the speed bump at Plantation and Column to approximately 50 feet from the intersection. We've had feedback from a few residents that the speed bump is annoying and unnecessary. It's being located near this stop sign to hopefully at least get people to slow down. This is an intersection where traffic converges from Column in 2 directions, from the back parking lot and from Plantation. The decision to locate a speed bump near there was in response to multiple incidents of people not stopping at that stop sign, and in fact speeding through to get ahead of traffic on Column. I watched security video of this for 30 minutes on December the 21st from 8:20 to 8:51 a.m. During that 31 minutes, 30 vehicles came to that stop sign. Out of 30 vehicles, 1 vehicle stopped. 29 vehicles ran through it, and some, in fact, speed up, trying to get ahead of traffic on Column. So the feedback I got about this is not a problem, that they've never seen anyone run that stop sign. All they have to do is come up here and look at some video. We've got plenty of it. This decision wasn't made lightly. We have very few options in Raintree to get compliance with obeying speed limits and stopping at stop signs. If you have to choose between annoying and inconvenient traffic measures and the safety of residents, we have a responsibility to put the safety of residents first. If anyone out there has any ideas how to slow people down, stop at stop sign, we're all ears. This is a file of requests for speed bumps all over this subdivision. Please, please put in a speed bump. We have foster children. Here's one that we have asked and asked for you to do something about the speeding. There are no speed bumps in my area. We have lots of traffic. So it isn't just here and there. It's all over the subdivision. And clearly we can't put speed bumps everywhere. But we do have to look at areas where it's a particular problem, where there's a lot of traffic, where there's people live there maybe that have children and are concerned about it. So that's all I've got to say about speed bumps. I'm tired of hearing about speed bumps. I think everybody else is too.
Slow down, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, this is not something that we like doing, but you know, we have to do something, and we're very limited what we can do. So that's all I have on roads. Yes,
Steph, will you add to that? There's also been complaints of the traffic coming down Column
Mhm.
and barely touching their brakes as they make a right onto Plantation. When they're coming into the neighborhood.
Oh, really?
They are
they
putting,
don't,
they
you
put.
mean turning off a column?
No, as they
When
come,
they're coming into
they
the
come down through,
neighborhood,
before, in front of Blinky.
they cut
Yeah.
across really short at the
turning
end of
on
the
Plantation.
parking lot to go down Plantation, and they don't even begin to slow.
They
down.
don't have a stop sign.
No, they do not have stop signs. But they're definitely exceeding the 20-mile-an-hour limit.
Well, they're definitely doing that. And
But
why
the speed, but
A
speed
gate there
bump.
would be a good idea.
a what?
We
Gate?
can't.
We can't do that. It's a
Can't
public
because there's a
access
public
road.
golf course down the street.
Yeah, so it's open from the hours of the golf course.
We need a stop sign.
I'm just saying, if there's houses unsecured, and if we had a gate, then we know it would slow them down from those hours at night.
It's not a bad idea, but
Well,
I
you
mean,
can
we
put a
have.
gate there, just have it motion activated, that way everybody can get in and out.
Yep.
You don't
We-
have a
we
car to
have
get through that gate.
Traffic
And then
congestion
after-
at that
After the
gate.
country club's closed, you need a key card to get in.
We already have congestion because of the other gate. I'm afraid that would just add to the congestion. I mean, we thought about that.
We did, and we can't risk the congestion filling up Column at certain times of the day when the school buses are coming and going, as well as parents and all the high school kids driving, when
I mean-
school's in session.
So, okay, so let's say that you added a stop sign there, is that gonna make the same?
No, they're gonna run that.
They don't stop at
They're
stop
not
signs
gonna
for
stop-
Raintree
No one's
anyway.
gonna stop for that except me.
Okay, so,
I'm the only dork.
so stop sign isn't gonna stop you. And
Speed
then we'll put
bumps
something
are
in that
actually
slows people
working.
down and
Yeah.
The speed
stop
bump
people
is
and-
working. But
I'm just saying it serves two purposes. It slows people down and it also secures those houses. Well, puts a barrier up, at nighttime. So,
Well, night times, they're not as worried about nighttime. They're worried about the
those people
daytime.
pay dues, right?
Sure.
So I just think that they should have the same as, you know, see a gate being that expensive.
I don't think we can put one there because it's a public access road.
It would have to be
We
motion
we
activated.
own, yeah, we own the.
And I know
No,
in the
there's-
future, most of the houses.
It's a
there's
public
a big
road.
deal.
Are supposed to
It's
face
the club will
east.
sue us.
It's a
The
public
back is
road.
supposed to be.
Yes, it is.
There's a big issue with that house down
Doesn't
there.
Raintree own that road?
We do.
Yeah.
We do,
But
but
because-
it's a public road.
This is a legal.
We have an agreement with the.
Yeah, I understand that we have an
Goes way
agreement,
back.
so if we kept it open during those hours, right, once he's closed, there shouldn't be people going to the country club, so it can be
Well,
secured at that point. and they just
That's
need to
not
get-
gonna help any rush hour traffic.
Here's the
Probably
issue,
outside the budget anyway.
yeah, but putting the gate there, it has to be, I guess the gate has to be at least 50 feet from the intersection like a speed bump. You'd be better off just moving the speed bumps down 20 feet.
Which is what we intend to do. And we don't expect it to stop people, but it will slow them down a little bit.
Or
because
maybe put one,
This one does.
or maybe put one up here on Column.
That'd be causing this B problem then, making that worse.
The worst problem, they have the right of way to turn coming in Column, regardless of whether they're speeding or not. Those people have a stop sign.
I'm talking
So,
about slow their speeding down through this section of Column, is what I was saying.
They shouldn't be doing more than 20 mph down this section of Column.
They do.
But a speed bump would make sure they do slower, go slower than they are now.
So we're concerned with our neighbor's safety.
Any more discussion on the speed bumps?
no, that's been talked to death.
Rules,
Okay, well, we had 32 rule violations set out in 2020. There was a follow-up letter for a potential second offense sent this month, plus there's just one violation so far this year. Also, we as security has logged over 33 tailgating or gate damage incidents. We had incidents with a ATV four-wheeler Polaris causing damage at the beach and around the gate. and apparently on the dam, and there was some other damage on the dam just recently. I would like to take this opportunity to, if it's okay with the chair, to let the Raintree Golf Cart Committee give their report briefly. If that's okay, if I need a motion or anything to do that, so.
I would just, can you let Wendy know that I guess we'll put the golf cart committee underneath
Security,
rules, between rules and security?
okay.
And that way Dave and Tammy kinda, if they have any overlap, they'll be right next to each other. Although this is an alphabetical order, I don't know.
She can put it wherever she wants, really, it doesn't matter, we have a separate report altogether from rules.
Should probably put it out there.
And it could just put it on a proper order.
Go ahead, finance.
E-F-G. Okay.
Is that it for rules?
Yeah, and
Tammy?
All right. We had our second meeting on January 12th, and we voted in to accept our volunteers into the role of inspectors. Our procedures were accepted, and they are expected to take no more than 30 minutes, plus time that might be spent at the office for their requirements. We extended the deadline for sticker purchasing till April 1. We will review it at that time if we need to extend it any further, if that's warranted. The deadline censures after May 1 will be handled on a one-on-one basis, considering any extenuating circumstances, as well as we defined four-wheel drive, off-road sporting machines, work tasking machines that will not be stickered to drive on the roads. Michael, you had a question?
Will that need to be voted on by the full board?
DW said no.
Well, this part of it isn't in the covenants, but if you guys,
It's a rule change.
yeah, if you
Well, we voted on
guys, well, I don't know, do the rules have to be voted on by the board?
yeah, if we make any changes, but what are we changing here?
Changing the
Deadline?
deadlines?
Well, I mean, we can,
We don't make motions when we extend deadlines for anything
that kind of
else.
stuff is at our discretion, so I mean, you could make. a
COVID
motion
stuff?
to-
Like
Well,
when
what
we-
did we extend for COVID?
Well, we allowed them, said at the I thought it was at the last meeting, we said we weren't gonna charge late fees because of COVID and people couldn't get up here and they were nervous about getting up here and the office wasn't open all the time, so I know we extended or eliminated, late fees.
So, I mean, we can use our discretion as far as, I mean, because they're either in violation.
Well, anyway, it
or
wouldn't
not,
come
so-
under this, it would come under new
So,
business.
I mean, I suppose you could make a motion to do it, but I don't think it's necessary, because we're not changing anything, we're just kind of extending the, when censures will be sent, and even again, they don't have to be sent even after May 1st, if there's, as she said, extenuating circumstances.
Everyone was on the up and up with it during the meeting, when you said it, Dave. It didn't strike anybody then.
Yeah, we're really not changing anything.
Nothing. We're just using discretion as when we apply censures, if we do it all this year regarding there's going to have to be something serious for it to be a censure on a golf cart this year, so if you're driving around with a golf cart sticker from last year, you're not gonna be censored, I think is the point.
Let's just do this in new business or old business, I guess it would be old business since we discussed this previously. Make a motion to extend the deadline to April 1st, May 1st being the penalty phase.
And the new business, you said?
Well, did we talk about this at all last month?
No, just in my meeting.
Not really extending any of the purchase date or anything.
No, did we talk about the golf cart committee at all?
We formed it.
We
That's
formed
all
it the
we
last
did.
meeting.
We
Voted
voted
to
to
have one.
reform
Okay,
it,
then just
but we
do it
did
under
not
new
vote
business.
on policy. We said we would do that this time.
Inspections will begin next week, dependent upon the weather. We will use the communications committee to release details on how we will be scheduling inspections. The short of it is everyone with a golf cart is going to email me with their name, address, cell phone number, and the best way to reach them with a list of 3 to 5 days with time frames that they are available. I will personally reach out to every resident, talk through with their schedule as soon as possible to get them worked out, confirm it, weather permitting, if there's something extraordinary that comes up with the weather, I'll communicate with them that day. But we are expecting, I have to schedule regular business days, Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday, when the office is open, is when I have it on schedule. Because the POA office, they have been accepting payment and proof of insurance from people while they've been purchasing their vehicle stickers and making note of it in their file and just telling them they'll get their sticker after their inspection. I wanted to thank everyone in advance for their understanding and patience as the golf cart committee moves forward into these uncharted waters of implementing a task that was already on the books as far as the covenants and the rules, but it was just simply too time consuming for 3 part-time office workers to tackle. But now we've had a dramatic increase in the number of carts that are on the road, so we can no longer allow the process to be sidestepped. Then I wanted to remind everyone that it was just in '96 that we voted to prohibit ATVs, and golf carts were allowed to go just to and from the golf course. That passed with 174 votes and 99 oppositions. Fast forward to 2012, the golf cart committee is first mentioned and established. And just for informational purposes, 2015, we had 54 stickers. 2016, we had 60 stickers.
15 and 16 and 5.
16.
Oh, it's my bad eyes.
I got my reading glasses here for you now. 2017, we went up to 77 stickers. 2018 is when we voted to allow pleasure cruising with your golf cart, other than going to and from the golf course. In 2018, the number of carts jumped up to 129. 2019, we went up to 162 stickers, and last year we were up to 228 stickers. Of those 228 stickers, more than 40 of those people do not have complete documentation in their file, most of it being photos that are missing. The goal of the golf cart committee is to identify and sticker all 228 golf carts and non-traditional carts that we already have, plus any new carts that Santa might have brought over the holidays. I wanted to add to that, we'll be having our meetings on the second Monday of each month. They will be Zoomed with a notice and a link to the meeting being on the standard platforms through the communication committee. And I just wanted to remind everyone that the golf cart committee's focus is to sticker golf carts. Right now, the board is not in the position or in the process of discussing any changes to the amendments of rules. We need to get through the stickering process of this year, months into the future. We can start looking at changing and bidding rules, but not in the immediate future.
I agree with that, but I do have to say that if you start an inspection process now, and we don't have standards or rules based off how those inspections can get completed, then there's going to be people who come back upset. For instance, if you say that, one person's tires are unacceptable, but another person's are.
We're not judging tires.
Okay, that was just an example.
Yes.
Of where things could go, and I would just be cautious on doing inspections until
Right now, the only
some sort of policy is put in place.
The only thing that would prohibit the sticker would again be if it's a 4-wheel drive. If it is what do we call it, off-road suspension sporting vehicle, like a Polaris,
ATV or UTV.
UTV, or if it was a utility vehicle with a dump bed or work, like a mule, a Kawasaki.
So
Down here.
there's people here that have those, and they've been stickered before. And you're saying that those are not allowed anymore?
They never were.
Okay. So then why were they given the sticker before?
That goes up to the point where all of this was falling onto the shoulders of the office staff. And as the number of golf carts increased, it fell upon the office staff to make sure that everyone was being forthright about what they were requesting a sticker for. Because it's very clear in the rules what is not to receive a sticker.
Okay.
But from what we've looked at the stickers that we've issued, and I've spoken to one person about their John Deere. We're on the same page. People that are driving around the Polarises have not reached out to me. I don't imagine that they will. But other than that, we had a pretty good reception from the meeting that we had.
Okay.
So I've got a great group of gentlemen inspectors that are looking forward to spending the next 2 months out in the parking lot, making sure that everybody gets a sticker and we can all get out there and enjoy the road safely.
And I think out of the 228 golf carts we have, we just want to identify them, just see what we have actually that we're dealing with, you know, because some people may have submitted photographs that are not what they have. We do know that is one case for sure. Somebody submitted a photograph of a golf cart that is not the golf cart thing. And so that's one of the issues, that's a problem, not to mention the ones that don't have no photographs or anything with it, so. But all that would be decided later.
Yeah.
You just need to
These
decide.
next couple meetings that Tammy's gonna be having, one is to train people how to inspect a cart, update the inspection form, so going forward, you know, regardless if you had a sticker, basically, we're waiving this year that they got one last year, they get one this year unless it's one of these vehicles. And, you know, get everybody up to speed, get the form updated. The reason this stems from, it ain't us just trying to be a bunch of bad guys out here controlling golf carts. It was complaints, and from what I can tell, the number one problem is underage kids speeding, along with, I've seen golf carts with 7 kids hanging off of it, standing up, hanging on the roof, sitting on the front, 3 people in the front seat. So it's that kind of negligence is what's caused the concern for residents. When you go from 54 carts in 98 to, well, technically, when was it, 2000, when did we allow them to be on the streets, 15, 14?
2012. Well, they've been allowed all the
There's
time.
12, wasn't it?
2012 is when they were.
2012 was
Okay,
when they
so
were
we had,
allowed.
what, 70 something then?
Yeah,
So,
no less than that.
2018 is when they voted to allow them on the streets.
Actually, it's September
Just
of
for
2017,
social
but
proof.
yes, that was the year they started.
Okay, so
2018
September of
was when they were
17, we had 77 golf carts, and in 3 years, we've
more than
over
doubled.
100% of that increase, so we've gotta do something about it, and people are complaining. And one, we didn't know we had a golf cart committee, so we're reestablishing that and certifying that and getting, I mean, it was before just basically ran by the office from what we can tell, and,
Well,
you
it
know,
was manageable with 77 stickers.
yeah, I mean, and, you know, if you don't know what you're looking at, I mean, you know, not everybody knows how to inspect a golf cart, so we're putting some standards around it and controlling what is and isn't allowed. And there's gonna be other discussions of when they get renewed and whatnot, Tammy will get into that into the meetings, but, you know, this, like the first meeting, it was just a plethora of information being thrown at her. Ideas like you're bringing up, I brought up, Michael, David, you know, all of us, and it's just a matter of data gathering right now, and then putting something together for people to adhere by, and at least give us some backbone if we do see these violations. It's tough, and they're just getting out of control.
I do have one question. You just mentioned when renewing stickers. Why isn't everything due at the same time? Where people can make one, especially like people who don't live here. They can
Well,
come in one time, pay their assessments, get their car stickers, do all their golf carts, everything at one time.
I don't disagree with you, but in some people's mind, that might be of a tough nut to cut all at once. You know, $365 for a house and a lot, and then you got, 2 or 3 car stickers, and then you got a boat, and,
The
a golf
assessment,
cart.
when the assessment time is pretty hectic around here.
It is, it helps the office to spread that out a little bit as well.
But if
because-
we can ever get this website up and rolling, you can do it whenever you want.
Because plus, putting stickers on in cold weather like this, they stick a lot better when they're warm when you put them on.
Well, that's part of what Tammy's gonna be going.
Well, that goes for boats too.
Yeah, I mean, those are all good questions. Be honest with you, anything that has to renew January 1st on a subdivision that half of it is in Florida and Arizona is kinda crazy, but it is what it is, and Tammy's gonna address a lot of that. Thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Okay, we're old and new business, so,
Just Chris on
security.
oh, security, I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to hear me or not.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Can you hear back there, Derek? Yeah, we're good.
All right, well, I just got a few quick things. If nobody, remembers back right around Christmas time, the gift system had to be removed to get repaired. That has been, put back up, repaired, and it's operational ever since the week following the New Year weekend, holiday weekend. As was, mentioned previously, I'll just go on and say ATVs are prohibited in Raintree subdivision and carry a $500 censure for the first offense. So, any owners of ATVs or friends of people that have ATVs, they are not allowed to be operated in Raintree subdivision at any time. And then last, just a reminder to residents and their guests, previously this year, just at the end of summer, we upgraded all of our cameras at all of the gates and the cameras at the beach and boat launch. And the new cameras have been used several times to help track down vehicle owners that have been involved in violations of rules or reckless driving. Just want to make a note of that, for all those people when you have your guests. That we do have cameras at the gates and at the dam area at the beach and the boat launch, and we will follow up. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Now we'll get into old and new business. So old business, Barb,
We're okay. Mini excavator for maintenance. Maintenance has some special assessment money. And the one piece of equipment that they really would like to have, that they need a lot, is a mini excavator. Now, they have to rent one, they save up jobs for 2 or 3 times a year and rent one to do these jobs. There are a lot of little small jobs that they could do almost on a daily basis, taking care of the roads and all the ditches and everything. So a lot of things don't get done, and a lot of things get put off because they don't have that equipment. So, I asked Tom to do a little research about the availability and the cost and so forth. We have about, at this point, $24,000 in the maintenance portion of the special assessment money. So I just want you guys to be thinking about it, or any comments anybody has about it. We'll probably make a motion next month when he gets some pricing and information about it.
3 bids.
3 bids, right?
Is he getting just an excavator or an excavator bobcat?
Just an
Just an excavator and a
track machine.
trailer that goes with it. There's a trailer that's like, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 that goes with it, that he puts it on. And then he can use the trailer to dump the stuff he's cleaning up on. I don't know, I don't know that much about it, but it's very beneficial to have that particular trailer because the excavator fits on it and he can use it for the materials that he's removing.
So you had mentioned this last
last month
Yeah.
anyway, so we
Yeah.
already had a heads up that this would be helpful to our maintenance.
Right.
So we'll look forward to getting those.
The big thing with having this on site would be the little things that Barb talks about or Tom says that have to wait till the bigger things happen, probably don't get done if they're in between these big projects. So the little things never out of sight, out of mind before we rent it again 6 months later. So if you have something on site, a piece of equipment that can do it, he can, one or two at a time if he wants. You don't have to wait 6 months to get the little things with the big things. And typically when you got a big thing, it's pretty much consuming most of the rental time.
Would it make a little better sense though, get one that's a combination skid steer excavator?
He's already got the tractor with the bucket on it. And them, believe me, them skid steer backhoes are a pain in the butt.
And not according to Tom, this is his, at the top of his wish list.
I'm just asking.
Pieces of equipment.
Actually, a skid
wants to
steer
use.
versus the tractor would probably be better, and then get the excavator so you have both pieces, but they already got the tractor with a bucket on it. It just don't dig like a skid steer does. But anyway, the main thing is when they rent it, it's usually for bigger projects, and some of the little ones fall off the table, so
Yeah.
They don't get
this
done.
would allow them to stay on top of it.
He said it's a piece of equipment that he can use almost every day.
We
So,
hope to use the special assessment budget for the entire purchase as long as it falls under the guidelines of 50% maintenance and 50% security.
right,
I mean, there's tons of ditches that, like I said, they could keep that thing going every day.
Right, well,
Because
exactly.
there's a lot of drainage ditches along roads that need cleaned.
well, next month, hopefully I'll have some bids and a little more information about it.
Yeah, as soon as he gets those bids back, if you can scan those and get those out to everybody,
Okay,
we start looking at them. I got a guy down in, I think it's Bloomsdale, that I'll give you a contact. I actually reached out to him for some equipment for myself.
where is it?
Bloomsdale, I think. I'll get you guys a business card. Any other old business? Tammy?
I would like to officially request to extend the golf cart sticker deadline to April 1. Is that what you said?
Is that a motion?
Sure. I'm warning, I'm gonna make a motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Deb.
Any discussion to extend the deadline for the golf cart sticker / inspection to April 1st with a penalty phase beginning May 1st? No discussion, all in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
April Fool's Day.
Ooh, oh, my crew will have fun with that.
Michael, you had some old business?
I received the three bids for the possible food truck parking. Two of them, the two that I emailed earlier today, the CFE and the all exteriors, they're basically their idea is putting it where the porta potty is now, moving the porta potty up the hill, putting that 20 by 30 pad there. Well, one, they'll come up with a different idea and came in as the lowest bidder. And it makes sense too. The very first 3 parking spots where the sheriff's car is, those first 3 parking spots right in there where that little bit of sand is, moving those rocks right there and putting it right there. We don't have to do any retaining walls, things of that nature. So, something to look at. It would free up the parking lot a little bit, would keep from burning our poor residents' feet on that hot pavement in the summer.
I get them a food cart, now they want me to get them some sandals.
Exactly. We'll
Well,
let the
for
red
cheap.
carpet.
Give it down here like $2.
Also,
Can
also,
we just, everybody share the same
You mean
sandals?
everyone's husband doesn't just go down on the golf cart and pick it up and bring it home?
I've also
Not everybody.
I've also talked with, one of the food trucks from last year, and I've talked to a couple of other food trucks that we're talking about for them to come in this year. And neither one of them flinched at $50 a day.
I was gonna ask you, if you don't mind, about how many weekends do we have the trucks in here?
At least when the weather gets warm, but I would say at least Memorial Day to Labor Day.
I'd say, yeah,
Probably after Labor Day.
middle of May to October.
So at least 12 weeks,
So you figure
12 to 14.
June, July, August, September, half of May.
It really depends on the weather and
About
how.
four
what
months.
temperature the
And then
water
there's some
is.
weekends we'll have them probably 3 days.
Well, no, the goal this year, hopefully, because we had so many requests last year to have a truck on Friday evenings. So you would have on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then holiday Mondays.
We need to discuss that Friday. I'd be more apt to do like a 12 to 5 or a 2 to
On,
5, 2 to 7 maybe.
on Friday,
Yeah, I just don't know that.
we were thinking like 4 to dark, just depending on business. 4
I think
o'clock.
People would rather have lunch than dinner on a Friday.
Well, you got your retirees, but you got the people who coming home from work on Friday, they don't wanna cook. I'm just going from what I've gotten from the residents.
Derek, you're down there a lot. What do you think?
I think the more you have down there, the better.
I mean, time-wise on a Friday. I mean, we can play it by ear, we can stagger the times. I wanted to mention something to you, I'm gonna get you a name of a food cart or food truck. I've never eaten at it, but somebody told me there's one down in DeSoto that has the best Philly cheesesteaks.
I heard, I text with him, the other day. And we're supposed-
Interested or not?
Huh?
Are they interested or? I just found this out Friday night and people ate down at, I think he runs all winter long.
He was just at, Salty Mike's in, House Springs the other day.
Okay.
But yeah,
I don't know if it's the same guy, but I'll get you the name of the one that I
it's,
was told.
I've got it saved at the house. But yeah, he was interested too.
So anyway, to answer your question, we're gonna try to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then if you have a Monday holiday, or,
I'm
I
just
think
looking
4th
at
of
it.
July's on a Monday this year, isn't it?
Yeah, because that would be,
Yeah.
yeah, because that would be at least 12 to 1,400 bucks.
I don't wanna, like, I know you guys prayed, I'm all for trying to improve the beach and that, but my understanding is we don't have a lot of money to throw around. How are we gonna pay for these things? And that-
Yeah, I mean, these
Yeah.
prices are a
To me,
lot
this
more.
is a want
Yeah.
versus a need.
Yes.
If we want it, it's nice to have, but do we absolutely need it?
This is my comment, because it is not in the budget this year in Lakes and Beaches.
But what we know, we have information now that we can make this something that we want to do in the next year or two.
Sure.
So
It could be something to
I'm
look
all
at
for
ahead.
improving the area down there, but I know we're pretty tight on money.
Well, and we could take, if we do $50 a day, then,
That will pay part of
They
it,
could
for
be
sure.
up to
Then
It's about
we-
$1,200 a summer.
but then we can take a percentage of that, needs to come out and go to towards the maintenance budget, or towards payroll. Or for the extra hours that come in on Sunday for stuff and doing trash and stuff. So some of that needs to go that way too.
One thing to consider though, I think, like, I'm kinda going with what top of that concrete retaining wall, that's our biggest problem of
You
these
mean the no
sands.
man's land?
Yeah,
We got 3 people working on that now.
okay, and then especially if, or maybe 1L or somebody get more bids, I know we had talked to, or you had talked to them, but I wanna get them rocks removed, I don't care what it takes. I would rather see us spend $9,400 on getting the beach functional all the way around past that tree, get a swale behind the wall and drain it away from just running over the top of the wall. The $9,400 could be spent towards that, and granted, we gotta suffer through another summer of taking up 3 parking spots. I think it's a great idea, especially because I brought it up, but we need to fix the beach. Let's make it more functional. And I know you and I have talked at length about this, and, we gotta get them rocks out of there. I know nobody had the experience to do it, but let's find somebody that does have.
What
We
if
may
those rocks
destroy.
Go 100 feet deep.
You gotta look at the steepness of that beach.
That's a
too.
matter.
Okay,
Well, that's part of the
You're talking about
problem.
past the tree?
Yeah,
Okay,
well, Well, even before the tree, I think.
Well,
there's
yeah,
some-
right in the red rock slides, well, you were there.
Yeah,
We had a long conversation, with Jay Boise,
Yeah.
Checker flag. yeah.
Checker Flag, CFE.
Yeah.
He's got some really great
Great
idea
ideas,
on
yes.
what to do to it. But that's the next set of bids that's coming.
Well, the reason I bring that up is I don't wanna try to put this pad in there and then what you guys are talking about, this Boise guy or checkered flag, and destroy everything that we just spent to put the food truck on.
Well,
So
I'm
let's
having a
make sure
hard
we
time-
make a big picture of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time spending this kind of money to free up 3 parking spaces.
5.
That makes no sense. 5. That doesn't make any sense.
You
That's-
didn't make a motion, right? We're just talking.
No,
Yeah,
no,
right,
we're
right,
just
right,
talking, no, this
right.
was just,
And this is up to like $14,000 to free up.
this is the initial
Parking
talk about
spaces.
it. You know, like I said, and I'm still working on, well, we had that kind of broke down into like 3 different areas of up there.
Yeah, he was supposed to provide like bids for each specific area, so if we wanna do this one this year, this one 2 years later.
He's still working on the other 2.
To your point, exactly, the steepness of it is because I believe, at least this is my opinion, that because of it being so rocky over there, it doesn't get addressed, but I agree with you, that beach needs to come out more and get into the lake more, so then we can bust out that rock.
And I think he did speak about something like stair stepping that down and leveling it off more. So yeah, he did address it. He had some great ideas.
My biggest thing is we gotta get a swale behind that wall, because that water is just pouring off and just
He's-
rushing that
That was
sand.
another thing he addressed.
Yeah,
He had some great ideas there also.
Yeah, he did. He had some really good ideas on that. Both of them, both of them did, all exteriors did too.
As much as I agree with this, cause I think it was a big hit, we may have to suffer one more year doing it the
We
way
may
we
have
did
to.
it. Or maybe the $50 we get per day, that 1,200 or 1,600.
But we're not saying we're not gonna have food trucks anymore.
No,
No, we're just not gonna
They're
give them
just
a pad
not
yet.
gonna-
just got a little
They're gonna
crowded
park in
down
the
there.
parking lot.
But if we can get $50 a day, that goes towards maybe this next year.
Next year.
The $50, where did that come from? I'm gonna be honest,
Everybody that buys a
Well,
sandwich,
the Ponzers spend $50 every time we drive down there.
Yeah.
So
Hello?
I
Hello, Mike?
think $50
I'm
is
usually 60 to
nothing.
75.
Yeah, but $50 for them to sit down there all day long
Make a lot of
and make
money.
money. They drive orders out to the parking lot behind the office here to people. People call them while they're in there and they drive it up here.
But
And they're
let's
making
take
money.
baby steps with what we charge
Yeah.
them.
No, I was just asking where
But-
they came from. I don't know any
I didn't
people.
charge, I didn't ask them for anything last year, cause it was just a need to get
Just to
people
see
down there.
how it went.
If it went over, well, then we start finagling
I've been
things.
kind of talking to him and just straight ask him. So
They have
if you
experience.
paid $50 a day to come in and sell here, he goes, okay. He goes, some places you go, they charge 1%, 2% of your sales for the day. You know, I mean, some places charge $100 a day. You know, I mean, it varies everywhere. And I'm like, okay, so $50, and I asked both these guys, $50? They're like, okay. They said,
So maybe you kinda earmark that in the QuickBooks under a different code.
What?
The $50 that we get this year. And then by the time we do something like this next year, we're 30% of the way there.
The income would have to
You're
go
not
against that expense.
No, I know, but I just wanna make sure that the $50, we track it so we know what we collected.
Well, some of that would probably pay for maintenance, even though it's not messier, there's just a lot more trash in the trash
I'm thinking
cans.
$50 is a fiddling amount of money. to
It
be
really
honest.
is.
well, I mean, that's $150 a weekend.
That's still a fiddling amount of money.
Yeah, but
I
It's
think
a
they're
start.
selling a lot more than that. I don't
Maybe
think
I was
they'd blink
taking
it double that at least. But, just my thoughts.
I kinda go with Dave on that one. I gotta go with baby steps on
yeah, I
that one.
don't want you to
Just makes it
charge
hard
me
to
more
raise
because
it.
I'm making more.
It makes it hard to raise it later.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I
We're
think,
gonna double it on you this year.
well, we raised it,
We're doubling it on them.
we've done more than double it.
Yeah, because last year they didn't pay anything.
But they made a lot of money.
Well, that was
We
just
don't
kind of
know
a
that.
trial run.
They sold out. Half the
I don't
time
know
those
they
trucks
made a
would
lot
sell
of money.
Completely out, and I'm Sure they made enough money, they came back, sold out again.
So we didn't make any motion there, but we had a good discussion.
No, there wasn't a motion for anything, it was just a discussion.
Once you figure out, and it doesn't have to be the same 3 every weekend, if you wanna get 6 of them in there and say, hey, we're gonna rotate these in and out, that's up to you.
The Sunday truck, the Lutz truck is already requested to keep Sundays.
Or maybe we go through CRC and throw a poll out there or
But
something, hey, what food truck would you like to see out here?
I have found a website that lists every food truck west of the Mississippi. I mean, this whole eastern Missouri, you can find every food truck listed that has a food truck.
There was a good taco truck in Arizona.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can get, I mean, there's a lot of food trucks and I've contacted a lot of them. You
Let's
know,
see how it
Right
goes
here.
this year, maybe we could throw a second one down at the boat ramp, down in the
I'm
parking
like,
lot.
parking lot of the boat ramp.
But, and have, and switching them out and stuff and get
I'll
more
leave that
variety,
up to you.
working on it, but I'll bring back before we get to that time.
Alright, I'll be honest with you, I was a little sticker shock on the bids as well, but I think it's something that needs to be done,
I
let's
broke a
just.
coffee cup, okay?
Well, but if you price out what a driveway
What?
costs.
I broke a
it's not that
coffee
much.
cup when I opened them. I
Well,
dropped
it's
it.
just, I'm
I mean,
thinking that maybe
it's not bad.
with all the other things
It's not
that
bad
we could
pricing.
do there.
No, when you look at a
Our money
driveway
could be
or
better spent.
extension,
And take into consideration when we get asked for a budget for next year.
I would rather work, and what with you, I'd rather work on that beach up there first.
It'd be nice to have all the costs underneath your, of everything.
Yeah,
A
maybe it-
budget.
Yeah, if you sign up for all of it, maybe we get a little cheaper here or there, as long as it's not strung out over 5 years. Alright, thanks, Michael, appreciate it. Any other old business? No, any new business? Chris, any new business?
Not from here.
I will make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Oh, any discussion? All in favor of adjournment, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Open forum.
Okay, so Nancy says the food truck name is Daddy O's Cheesecake.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, Nancy.
Important one there.
Steve P says parking is not something we should provide for special food truck areas. Nancy Gow agrees with Dave W regarding fixing beach prior to providing better food truck parking. Laura B is asking, can we legally charge food trucks a fee to come into Raintree? The POA shouldn't be in the business of renting out spaces to public.
You know what?
spaces to the public.
Renting out spaces to the public.
Can you check on
I
that?
don't
You
know
wanna
about
imply
that.
on
We rent
that
out
before?
an office downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, we rent an office down,
Well, we
real
rent
estate office.
we rent campgrounds, campsites.
Yeah.
That's not an issue.
She
That's
says
not
it's
right.
not like renting out camping spaces to Raintree to others, the campground is an amenity. Seems like the spending of assessment money on food truck parking should be vetted through CRC.
I think Deb mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I asked CRC if they would help with getting opinions on amenities that they don't choose to do it quite yet. So we will be talking about amenities with the CRC.
Okay, Linda C says percent of sales should be used for beach-related improvements. And if Raintree owners knew that a percent went, then more than just beachgoers would take advantage of this carryout food.
More than beachgoers already do take advantage of it.
Which is fine.
Percent-
I think what he's saying is if the percentage of the $50 went towards the general
Lakes and
fund
beaches.
as well as the beaches.
Oh,
Okay, we'll give the general fund 2%.
She says the percentage is fair for the vendors and for us. If they don't sell up and they don't pay a fee, if they do, then we get more money.
Who said that?
Linda C.
Oh, that's all part of that.
So I got,
I don't disagree with the percentage, but then you got, then you're, Well, you know, how much did you sell, then they gotta figure out what they sold before they leave, or send us a check, or drop it off before the next week.
Not flat
You
fee.
stand there that
Yeah,
day
just a
and say,
flat, just a flat fee.
I think so too, because really we ain't asking for a whole bunch. I mean, for the most part, we just have a little extra work for a maintenance crew to come out there, more trash for them to pick up.
Yeah.
And it's more than, I think it's worth it.
And that was my main thought when it first,
We don't want the trash to cost us money, I think is the point.
that was my thought, originally about, okay, well, we need to charge these guys something next year. Cause there's extra trash and stuff. But then, got to, start, looking about the concrete pad and stuff. Yeah, it's gotta be a little more, cause it's gotta help pay for that too.
And
Just so
upkeep
they
on
keep
that.
calling.